What's up, guys? It's me, Aaron, and it's Dan the man, and we are here because you're here, because things are kind of working out like we've been talking about. And actually, I love the comment. I'm going to pull it up right here because there is literally no shame in this. I love this comment right here from David. Aaron trying to ride on the coattails of Dan's altcoin season calls. Dan called it a T so far. Called it to a T so far. Yes, Dan, I gotta give credit where credit's due, man. So far, way to go, dude. Like, this has been the most crazy week that we've had in quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
I think first, what we need to do is give you guys a second to grab an extra pair of diapers because it's gonna get you're gonna want it. Just trust me, okay? Grab a snack. I literally have snacks because I am like Dan. I'm exhausted right now because of this market, like you guys are. I'll share some of my stuff later with you guys, but not really. You know what I mean? But before we get started, for all of you lovely people that are watching after the fact, everything that we're sharing today is literally going to still help you. So even if you're watching this post stream, like the video, leave a comment. Let us know what you took away from this stream. Dan and I are both trying to help you all and trying to help you understand how to maximize your profits out of this market that we're in right now. Like, this is the golden zone right now. So Dan, go ahead. You give your welcome intro, your season's greetings, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, no, I must say that I'm almost kind of surprised at myself as well. So I guess for anyone who hasn't been keeping up, like I kind of made a pretty bold call. I want to say roughly, I think, is it almost like 2 weeks ago now? Yeah, I guess almost 2 weeks ago now, when I basically said like Bitcoin was going to explode in 3 days, and everyone was like, this is clickbait, this is clickbait. And then on the day of, on July 9th, I'm like, it literally looks like it's about to break out, and it did. And I was saying originally, like 2 weeks ago, that I think altcoins would follow 1 week after that. And I was pretty nervous about that call. And then especially earlier this week, when I was saying, like, in 48 hours, we're going to get basically get an altcoin breakout. And I remember I actually couldn't sleep like the night after I posted the video yesterday. I couldn't sleep all night because I was thinking, like, man, like, if that Genius Act isn't passed and something goes wrong, then I'm going to wake up to a sea of red. And I wake up and it's just like everything is just going crazy green. I took some profits. I guess something that I haven't talked about too much, but I've been long ETH in the Coin Bureau trading. Like, we have a Bybit. Coin Bureau trading is like a Bybit, like you could say, like institutional portfolio or whatever. And I took some profits on ETH this morning. I know it probably will go a little bit higher, but I was long from like 50 to 2,500, and then now it's like, okay, let's lock some in, And yeah, it's crazy.
Man, it's been just like the last couple of hours, like, the biggest thing I think that a lot of you are going to get out of today's live stream is coming from me and Dan is going to be this sense of urgency to act now, but not out of FOMO. And to also recognize that, like, literally what you just said, like, you're super excited to take some profits out, where a lot of people are going long right now, right? There's nothing wrong with going long late, but you've got to secure some profits as the market pumps up. Like, what do you give us? Just a couple of thoughts on how you're treating this right now, how you're trading it, how you're interpreting things that are happening, like charts that are pumping literally out of nowhere. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So the thing that's been the hardest for me, and I'm sure many of you who are listening can also attest, it's very hard after so many months of like chop and grind. It's very hard to change that mentality and understand that something that I was saying actually for a while before is that the risks are to the upside, right? It's kind of like, it's something that gives PTSD to people who have been watching me for a long time, because I've been saying that now actually for quite a while. But in this case, it's like really real, where it's like, when I take profit, I do it with the awareness. And this is, again, the hardest thing to wrap your head around. If you're taking some profits now, do it with the awareness that potentially, again, like, I guess, Aaron, I would like to hear your thoughts on whether you think like this rally we're seeing now is like confirmed. Because in my mind, I think it is. And what that means is that when I sell, if I take profit, there's a high chance that it's just going to keep going up. And that's the really hard part, to digest, right? And because people are what people are so used to is like, if I don't sell now, then it will go down and I'm going to lose everything. So I must, it's like you're trying to balance those two extremes, right? It's like understanding that it's probably going to keep going up, but we have, after months and months of just suffering, for many people. Like they're finally like at break even. Like of course, not everyone's at break even yet. I think that'll probably be coming in the next couple of weeks here. But the last thing I'll mention there, Aaron, sorry to ramble on this.
No, you're good, man.
I was thinking about this earlier today, and what's really fascinating is it seems that sentiment in crypto seems to correlate pretty highly to Ethereum's price, because a lot of people, when they're holding altcoins, the kind of biggest blue chip altcoin is Ethereum. So I think seeing ETH's price rally, so like it's insane. It's like a vertical.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a rocket ship. And I think seeing that happen, that is kind of what's bringing a lot more hope and optimism back to the markets. If we were just seeing Solana and all these other, other, like, I don't know what you want to call them, like the layer ones that were running a lot, let's say in the last couple of years, like if it was just Solana and Hyperlake, would people be like, whatever. But now that it's ETH, they're like, oh my God, like, I think this is it's the real deal. Right. And it looks like that on the charts. So anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, man. I think actually this comment right here from Sir Foxy the Guru, I agree 100%. But I mean, this is me. Like I'm a DCA guy. DCA in, DCA out. Can't go broke. Taking profits. Someone's actually paying attention to our videos. Congrats. Now there are a lot of you asking for a ton of coins and tickers and stuff like that. I'm gonna do my best because I'm the one that's driving the bus right now, and tonight it's a short bus. So make sure that you put your tickers in. I'll do my best to kind of keep track of stuff. But before we get to answering tickers, you guys got to do us a favor. You're all fantastic. You're awesome. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Whether it's your morning, afternoon, or evening like me, hit the like button. A lot of you are here. You haven't hit the like button. How dare you? How double dog dare you? And for those that do hit the like button, I will reveal one of my Japanese sweets that I'm eating tonight to help me stay awake for this live stream. Deal? Deal. Dan, I'm gonna give it to you first, man. Why don't you share some of your thoughts on the market right now? Like you can hop around, you can go full on. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else.
Can I share? I can share a screen? Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Awesome.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me see what I want to look at actually. And this is a chart that I've been sharing a lot. Can you see it? Can you see it on the screen?
Now we can. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is a chart. I've shared it in the last few videos. I shared it in the Coin Bureau Club the other day as well, and I think even earlier today or yesterday. I've lost track of time, honestly. It's been a blur the last 48 hours. But in my view, like, and maybe I'll zoom out a little bit more just for a little bit more clarity here. So you can see that basically others, which is of course total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10. You can see that it's kind of been chopping in this channel, you could say. Maybe I'll fix the chart here so it's a little bit clearer. So you can see that it's been chopping kind of in this range literally for like 18 months almost. Like it's been basically bouncing in between this range. And I think what we're seeing now again is like an altcoin rally. And the way that I define that is we're getting a break above this kind of like key level. I don't know, somewhere around 290 billion, 288 billion. Pick your exact wick. But I do think that we've seen a breakout above this level. And we're going to see a move up here to the 250 billion, 260 billion range, which in percentage terms, you'd be looking at around, I don't know, like a 10 or 20% gain across like on average across altcoins. Some altcoins will outperform that. Most of them will significantly underperform that. And then once we get to the upper level of that range, I think we're going to get a little bit of chop and grind before we enter that final kind of blow off top altcoin season. So I guess that's the first thing I want to get out of the way, because I know that's, I just feel like that's one thing that a lot of people misunderstand, because of course they're looking at the markets now and they're saying, oh, it's only large caps that are rallying. It's only Ethereum. It's only Solana. It's only Sui or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, because we're still in the altcoin rally phase here, which is like the initial stages. You don't really get that crazy FOMO insanity until that altcoin season comes. I personally think it's going to come sometime over the summer. But I know that lots of people have been saying it's going to come later this year, but I'll just leave it at that. That's kind of like as my opening volley, as my initial thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, I mean, I just shared a video. I'm trying to multitask as much as I can right now with looking at stuff. And also, it's too large. I'll have to fix that. But also, yeah, multitasking is not so fun when I'm trying to look at charts too. I need to share this chart though, because it's important. This one, yes, allow. Or if it was Spanish, it'd be ajao. Maybe. So BTC, man, I am shocked that it is literally just doing nothing. It is parked. I love it. I'm happy. It's still super strong bullish in my book. I still personally have a top target of 173-ish. Okay, I was expecting November. I'm happy if it happens sooner. I'm also happy if it goes above that. The reason I get that level, just as a refresher for people. So I saw someone asking like, well, what are your targets for stuff? Like we can talk about that all the live long day. The reason I get 173K is basically because of the previous bull market and the Fibonacci drawing. So from the top to the drop, it gives us the 272 where we've seen a lot of price action struggle. And now we're in the next straight shot up to 173. It could still go above 173,000. And again, I'm going to be totally fine with anything above this target. The main thing I get a little bit nervous about right now is people yelling super cycle, because that happened back over here. Super cycle also happened back over here. Like, it's a stupid phrase to use. It really is, because every cycle is super. If you really zoom out to look at Bitcoin's price performance over the last, since its inception. So I get this level, and I believe it's going to be that level, because if I do the same thing with these historical fibs, and I'll just do it right now on the weekly chart, top to the drop, and the drop down here in December 18th. Yep. The price of BTC in the last market, it basically topped out around here, around the 1.618. Now you could argue, well, that's because of the, not the Coin Bureau, that's because of the Coinbase listing, the IPO. Or you could say, oh, that's because the COVID crash set us behind. Or you could say, but it did pan out really well. So this is, I mean, I'm big into cycles and cyclical behavior. So because the last market topped out there, I'm looking at our current market going, well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it could go higher. Top target would be like around 200K, but that would be really unusual, personally. I know a lot of you are probably wondering about this too. The altcoin season index has grown dramatically. It is at 51 when I last took this screenshot, which I love how it says it is not altcoin season. I disagree, but I understand. And the whole premise behind this tool is that whenever this metric is above 75, then it's confirmed altcoin season. And I've said this time and time again, every single time it confirms it, we are basically near the middle or the end. And I don't want that to be the case at all. I want this to go back down, if anything. But the reality is that alts are wildly outperforming Bitcoin right now. And for all of you that watched the other video that I shared on the More Coin Bureau channel, I shared about this long-term to short-term holder supply ratio. This thing is awesome. I am super pumped about this because if we look here, oh, I can't zoom in. That's right. It's a screenshot. I've been talking about this chart because it's replicating a lot of what we saw before. We get this huge run up, and then we see kind of this peak with this green mass. And to be honest, I don't even know what a lot of these things, I mean, why is it plus V, two different colors? Why are they both 30D MAs and they're literally the same thing, but they're not the same thing? I don't know. Maybe it's like a positive value, negative value. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to go into the details. What I'm going to show you, though, is what I talked about in that video is literally happening right now. We're getting a steep, sharp decline in the LTH-STH supply ratio, just like we saw back over here in about February, just like we saw back over here in, this is like October, November. And I'm not looking at the trading view. I'm looking at this. I really am. And this correlates perfectly with the video that I literally just posted a couple of hours ago about this massive, massive Bitcoin signal that I'm seeing for dominance, which I'm super pumped about. No pun intended. So the main thing that I'm focusing on right now is rotation. A lot of stuff is starting to pump. And I know a lot of you are probably getting excited, but you're also wondering like, man, when is it going to be my turn? It's like being back in first grade and you're waiting in line for the swings, and then that punk kid cuts in front of you. And then another punk kid cuts in front of you again. It's like, guys, I'm waiting in line. It's my turn. Like, just be patient. Patience pays. I cannot tell you how many good trades I cut too early because I got impatient or I got nervous about the market. Guys, just wait. One strategy that I really, really love doing is not just taking partial profits, but basically breaking even on my trades, especially in bullish conditions like this. So like, I have a trade open for HNT. Let me share the chart for HNT.
Well, While you're doing that, Aaron, sorry to interrupt. I want to say one quick thing that I actually wanted to mention to you even before the stream, that I think your prediction of Bitcoin hitting around 175,000 actually makes a lot of sense the more that I think about it. And that's for the simple reason that as you might know, or some people listening might know, there was some headlines going around, I think it was earlier this year or late last year, that Donald Trump apparently has a $150,000 Bitcoin target. I don't know if you heard that.
No,
it was something that was, it was something that was confirmed in the media, like behind the scenes. He's like, I would love it. I would love for Bitcoin to go to 150,000. Meanwhile, when you're analyzing, like as I've been kind of like looking at the parallels between silver and Bitcoin, that would suggest a cycle top closer to 200,000. What is the price that's right in the middle of that where people would get the most frustrated? 175, right? So I think that you're really onto something there. Yeah.
Like really interesting.
Yeah. It would mess up both sides of the, like, it would mess up the uber bulls, and it would mess up the kind of more conservative ones who are like, oh, 150,000, Trump said 150,000, I'm out, and then it just keeps going up. They're like, what? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So I've been talking about HNT a lot on my YouTube channel. The link for that's in the description if you guys want to sub. But honestly, this is a good channel as well. This is right here. So we have this huge reversal zone right here. The price wasn't dumping anymore. This is where I took my long. I took partial profits out here. 41%. Don't let anyone tell you that 41% is a bad trade. That is a ridiculously good trade. But of course, we know in crypto, when we take profit right at resistance, right where we're supposed to, like this is perfect where I took profit. And the chart is continuing to pump. It's pumped up a total of 64%. And zooming out, a chart like this, I mean, it could easily go back up here to like 868, 880. It could go up another 300%. The main things that I've learned from trading crypto since late 2017 is that there are times to take profit in the base currency. There are times to basically break even in trades where you make back what you put into it and you just let it run. And you don't even look at it. Like you don't even care about it. You just let it go. The worst mistakes that I ever made as a young trader, as a new trader to crypto, was I took all my profit out way too early. And it's something that you just have to learn with time. And it's not to say that every single trade now, I always leave some in the position. No. It depends on what I'm seeing on the charts, Bitcoin's price performance, Bitcoin dominance, stablecoin dominance. And right now the conditions for me are extremely bullish. So I'm going to leave as much skin in the game as I possibly can, but I want to make sure that I'm taking profit on the way up. I mean, you shared this before when what you were saying, but I mean, this is where my mind is right now. And I'm not necessarily saying, oh yeah, HNT, this is a great coin, let's buy this. Like everything that Dan and I are sharing, these are our own personal opinions. They do not represent the Coin Bureau. It does not represent anything else. Like it's not to be interpreted as financial advice, all that good stuff. You're going to be learning a lot from us, but just get that part into your heads, okay? All right, I'm hogging it. You go ahead, man.
Yeah. I'm actually, when you were sharing that Glassnode chart, it reminded me of something. It's another thing I actually posted about in the Coin Bureau Club Discord. I will share my screen. Where is it?
Give me a second to catch up with the comments, so that's good. Oh yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Can you see it?
I have to add you. I forgot. There, now I can.
Okay. So I guess a little bit of background. So I'm sure that a lot of you have seen news of like whales sending large amounts of Bitcoin to exchanges. And the assumption is that when whales do this, that they're immediately selling. I think that this assumption is false. And I almost want to like be super dramatic and say like, I need you to listen to me very closely. And I think I might actually say it. I need you to listen to me very closely, and you can, download this live stream and then take a snippet of this and share it on social media or like share it in your folders or whatever. Because I think this is extremely, extremely important information. There's an awesome YouTube channel called Bravos Crypto Research, and they recently did a video which basically argued that every single time we're close to a cycle top, that basically a few weeks or even a couple of months before, you will see whales sending large amounts of Bitcoin to exchanges. And what this video basically argued was like, oh, these whales are so dumb, they're selling early and the institutions are buying it. I don't think so. I think these whales are positioning themselves ahead of the pump, and then they take profits gradually, just like Aaron does, just like I do. They take profits gradually into that pump. as it occurs. And it's a little bit hard to see here. What we're looking at a very, I guess you could say, a more refined version of the indicator that Bravos Crypto Research showed in their recent video. I think it's titled something like this time is different for Bitcoin, if you guys are wondering what it is. But they basically went back and they said, look, like every single time you see a spike, what you're looking at here is basically, it's the realized profit by long-term holders. And I think there's also some short-term holder data in there, whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is that what's really interesting is, of course, you'll see a huge spike of like Bitcoin being sent to exchanges. And then like a couple of months later, you'll get the top, or let's say like 6 to 8 weeks later, you get the cycle top. And again, in the video, they're just like, oh, like these dumb whales, like they're selling early and all the institutions are buying. I'm like, They are positioning themselves to sell. And as you guys can see, I would say since the start of July, roughly, we're starting to see huge spikes of Bitcoin being sent to exchanges. And some of you guys might have seen, there's like these super old wallets waking up, sending like, tens of thousands of Bitcoin, moving it around. And everyone's like, oh, like, surely they're just like, I don't know, it's like maybe OTC sale or whatever. It's like, I'm sure that they're selling and they're preparing to sell. And that kind of tells me that, look, in the next couple of weeks here, things could get really, really steamy, let's say. And I think, Aaron, if I'm not mistaken, the chart that you were sharing is basically showing the same thing, just in a different way. So that's like super, super fascinating. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share on that front. Yeah. Okay.
We got a couple of chart requests. I think that's a good place to start next. But before we get into that, guys, you know the deal. Make sure that you like, that you subscribe, that you leave comments, all that fun stuff. You guys are fantastic for hanging out with us. And I did promise I would show you some of my delicious Japanese sweets I already shared with Dan. So this is like snooze fest for him. But living in Japan, living in Tokyo has its perks. So the drink of choice tonight is Tsubetsuba Shiro Momo. You get that? Awesome. It has chunks of fake peach, and it's only 25% fruit juice, but I'm pretty sure it's 75% sugar. How does it taste? It's really weird, to be honest. I don't like it, but I just wanted to try it tonight. So, all right, let's do some chart requests. You want to go first?
I mean, sure. What are people requesting? I can't see the.
No, I know it. Right. Let's do. Here we go. What do you think about? What do you think for Aptos? Will it rise aggressively? That is the question from ENR.
Yeah. Okay, give me 2 seconds here. I'll throw up the Aptos chart.
Do it, man. You throw that thing up now.
Yeah, like a dog.
Yeah.
Let me share the screen here.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, man. A lot of people have been, Aptos, so before I like do like a super in-depth analysis of the chart, I'll just mention one thing that it's really interesting actually. So in traditional I don't want to say traditional investing, but in traditional trading, and I actually don't really trade equities, so I don't know if this is true or not, but it makes logical sense to me. In traditional trading of equities and stocks and whatever, there's this idea. It's like if something is running, then you basically just keep piling into the thing that's doing the best, and you ignore everything that's lagging. In crypto, I think that's a little bit different. I think in crypto, it's like you'll see some things rally first, and then the things that come after, they just like snap. It's just like literally over the course of like a couple of weeks, you just get a snap, and it's back up, whatever it is, 4 to 5x. So in Aptos' case, we have two kind of things going on here. What you're looking at is basically the fact that Aptos has been chopping in a range, let's say somewhere between, I don't know, roughly $4 and somewhere around, let's say $20. I know it's like around 18, let's say technically, but somewhere between, let's say, I don't know, $4 and $18, $4, $20. It's literally been chopping in this range for like two or almost 2.5 or 3 years. And we're on the weekly chart here. And what you can see is that we're getting a very, very aggressive kind of squeeze going on here with the Bollinger Bands, my favorite indicator. And you can see that if we zoom in here, you can see that Aptos' price is getting above the Bollinger Band moving average on the weekly. And every single time that happens, that basically tells you that you are in a medium-term uptrend. And of course, when we get a squeeze, where is Aptos most likely to go? Probably somewhere here to the upper range, let's say, to be conservative, somewhere between, let's say, $14 and $18. And that would be what? Like basically like almost a 3x. Yeah, roughly a 3x move from its current price, maybe a little bit more than that. And that can happen literally over the span of a couple of weeks. And of course, the moment I say that, then people say, oh, what's the catalyst? The catalyst, tell me the catalyst. I've been mentioning this about altcoins in general. I think the catalyst for this will be the SEC introducing this temporary exemptive relief framework, which is a fancy term for they will temporarily make everything legal in the United States in crypto in terms of stuff you can do. So like airdrops, DeFi, like everything that will be completely legal for a limited time only. Okay. And when it comes to, this is what people also don't think about, is when it comes to like stuff like airdrop, stuff like DeFi, stuff like, I don't know, meme coin trading, whatever. What retail investors, like the people who are actually using this stuff, what they look for is something that is cheap and fast. Solana, Sui, Aptos, Base, these are all, even Hyperliquid, these are all chains that are cheap and fast. And that's why they're getting adoption. And in Aptos' case, it has a lot of funding. It has a really strong narrative. You have even news coming out that Facebook, aka Meta, whatever, they're planning on launching a stablecoin. Of course, we just had the Genius Act passed. I mean, it needs to be signed by Trump today. But when the Genius Act gets signed into law, don't be surprised that you see an announcement from Facebook saying like, hey, we're going to use Aptos for like our stablecoin experiment here. Because Aptos was originally created by Facebook. Hello. But like people don't think about these connections and they don't think about that history. And they don't understand how quickly this thing could just melt up. Very similar to what we saw actually. Sorry, I'm zooming. Let me adjust this thing here so it doesn't ruin it. So you can see similarly to what we saw in January 2023. In 3 weeks, it went from $3, less than $3, it went from $3.50 up to above $20 in 3 weeks. Okay, so the idea that the same thing can happen again is not out of the question. And once it gets to that upper range, and maybe it'll get rejected, maybe there'll be a little bit of chop. Once it gets above that, where do you think it's headed next? Well, you take the difference between these two levels, very super basic technical analysis. So we have a lower range somewhere around $4, upper range again, let's be conservative, call it around $18. That gives us what? A difference of $14. So once Aptos breaks above, let's say 20, 19, $20, it's like a straight shot to 30, 35. And from these levels, you're talking what, like a 6x return? That's not too shabby. And this could potentially happen in the span of a few weeks here. So, and does that guarantee it's going to happen? Absolutely not. But you have to people don't do the research. And this is one thing, I'll be honest, like that frustrates me about a lot of people who analyze charts. It's like, objectively speaking, even if we were to zoom in here, I don't know, like to the daily or whatever, let me just go back here and reset the price scale. Like you go to the daily and you're just like, Jesus, Mother Mary, there's so much resistance on the way up. Like there's going to be people like they're going to be selling all the way up. It's going to be lucky to make it to like $10 because everyone's going to be selling on the way up. What people don't think is like, besides all these catalysts and everything, and the fact that I'm sure there's lots of people that were shorting Aptos and whatever. But the main thing is like for cryptos like these, the only people that are left that are still holding are true believers. And if they held this far, they're not going to sell when it goes up 2x, right? They're going to sell at the very least when it gets back to the upper level of that range. Mm-hmm. And they probably have in their head the same target that I have. They want it to go to $100, right? Because like that seems like almost just like, could Aptos go to 100? Previously created by Facebook. You get all these announcements. You have all this like speculation around emoji coins, whatever, which you guys can look into on your own time. It's kind of like meme coins, but on Aptos. It's a very special thing, very interesting. And like in my view, all the ingredients are there. The narrative, the catalyst, the accessibility, the usage, everything is there for Aptos to rally. Maybe the only thing is missing is like a ETF or something, but it's like fourth in tokenized RWAs now. Stablecoin supply is rising super fast, has ties to Facebook, ties to all these like Microsoft and all these companies. Anyway, point being, I'm super bullish on Aptos. It's like similar to what you were saying, Aaron. It's like on Helium. It's the exact same thing. Like if you were looking at Helium, yeah, you will not go any lower than this. Okay. Like, yes, maybe it could, but if everything else is rallying, then this is the freaking bottom. And there's only one way it can go. And then, are you going to take profit? I don't know, some more. Yeah. Anyway, you get the point. I'll
absolutely. No, you're good. You're good. Guys, are you liking this video? I'm pretty sure you should be, because this is disgusting. All this stuff that we're sharing with you, shame on you. No, but seriously, you're awesome. Thank you for joining us today. I want to remind you of something real quick. In the description below, there are links for stuff. Click the links, okay? The links are all good deals that Coin Bureau has negotiated on your behalf. There's a new link here for Femex. Dan also has links on his videos as well. Don't just click mine, but we're using my account right now for streaming, so I get my links. But there's CoinCatch and 2bit. These are both non-KYC requiring exchanges. 2bit has a crazy deal right now where you can sign up and trade to earn over 15,000 USDT. That's insane. So that's the one to check out right now. It's a great deal. There are tons of other deals here at the Coin Bureau website. I just needed to share that with you guys before I forgot, because it's starting to get into it. It's already 30 minutes into this thing. Can you believe that?
Time flies.
Oh my gosh. Okay, big reveal time. What's the next thing in front of me that I'm eating? What yummy thing? Crunchy or soft? What do you think is better?
Everything in Japan is soft, isn't it?
Yeah, you seriously, if you guys ever come to, actually, all the profits you're making with Japan, don't ask to come hang out with me. Don't ask to buy me a coffee, sake. Like, just enjoy. You don't want to see a white guy in Japan. Just enjoy Japan. But when you come here, things are super soft, like weird soft. If you go to a bakery and you come from Europe and everything is like eating like car tires or eating like cardboard, you will hate it here because everything is so soft. So I will share the soft thing. This is something I love so much and it's super cheap. Torukeru Annin Dofu. I love this stuff. It's like Chinese almond pudding and it's like amazing. And it's white and it looks like nothing. It looks actually pretty gross, to be honest, but it tastes amazing. So there you go. That's another reveal. Let's look at it. Let's look at another chart. HNT prediction. We can do that chart again. I mean, I just looked at it, but I don't mind. And why don't you prep? I have to double task, don't I? Is that double task? Multitask? You're gonna look at Sui and Sol next, okay?
Sure. I'll prepare those.
You can prime that up. Prime time. Hide current one. I'm going to. All right. You guys liking this video? I hope so. I'm not keeping track of anything. Gasp. Jesus, take the wheel in this live stream. Okay, here we go. HNT is awesome. Like Dan said, I mean, there are some charts that are just massively oversold. There is a lower low for HNT, just so you know. It could fall lower, but because the bullish energy right now is so massive, I don't really see a need for HNT to just suddenly lose 40% of its value unless some terrible black swan event happened, which I so wanted to tell you about this, Dan, but I was at a park last week with my wife, and they have all these little swan boats and stuff, like little pedal boats. And the one boat that was in front of me the entire time that literally kept going back and forth, I kid you not, was a black swan. What swan boat place, distributor, rental center has black swans? There was literally one black swan. I was going like, no, get away. Get away.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so if it actually happens to be a black swan event, I told you guys there, that's my prediction. It came true. HNT has legit resistance here at 4434, basically because not just the TBO, but also because of price just stalling up at this range between 413 to 440. But again, if things really rip and roar and go crazy, yeah, like I expect a lot of stuff to go back to its previous all-time highs, at least locally. I don't know about all the way back up here. I would love to see HNT at $40, but I don't know if we're necessarily there yet. But crazier things have happened. I mean, for instance, and I love using this chart as an example. Onyx coin was crazy. Oh, this one almost hit take profit. I'm sorry, that's embarrassing. Just like letting people see it per skirt. All right, so this one had listed up here like basically 10 cents, and it lost 99% of its value. But when the conditions were right, this thing absolutely sent. From down here, 0.0008, it pumped all the way up like 5,500%. From 0.00088 to 5 cents. Now, it took a long time. But the point being that when the conditions are right, and note the conditions back here, when this quote-unquote started sending was back in November 2024 when the Trump pump happened. Yeah, it initially went up 100%, but that wasn't good enough for XCN. It wanted to go up, pull a 28, 27x. So what I'm trying to say is that don't be discouraged, guys. And also you can get kind of greedy at a point like this. And the reason why I feel like it's okay to get a little bit greedy, and I just want to touch a little bit on what I talked about earlier in my video. So this stablecoin dominance signal, these white, I need more sugar. These yellow dots are TBO breakdowns. These let us know that there should be explosive downward price action. The last several times we saw these, like back over here in November, we saw these and we saw stablecoin dominance drop by 20% over 25 days. The time before that was back over here. In February 2024, we saw stablecoin dominance drop 26%, and the rally kind of lasted for 20 days, but actually lasted a little bit more. Again, watch the video. It's going to explain a lot more of these measurements and stuff. And again, same thing, dropped about 25%. So I think it's reasonable to expect a target of 20% from here, which should be insane. If stablecoin dominance drops 20% from here, what happens to dominance is that it's going to shift. It's going to absolutely rock the boat. We know Bitcoin dominance is absolutely puking right now, which is so good to see. I love it. And you know what? You can't hate Ben Cowan. I know a lot of you don't like Ben Cowan because he keeps talking about Bitcoin dominance, but the man has literally been talking about how bullish Bitcoin dominance has been. I need to zoom out so you know this. He has literally not stopped talking about Bitcoin dominance being bullish ever since really about here in 2023 March. So he's been right for 861 days. He's been right for about 2 years. So pump the brakes, okay? Get off your high horse and start riding on the short bus with us. Because the good news is that Bitcoin dominance falling down this much, and even without this indicator, you guys, look at this. Today, down almost 1%. Yesterday, 1%. The day before, 1%. The day before that, 1%. And even with RSI, which is a free indicator, do you realize how stupid it is right now? I literally get goosebumps when I look at this. Yesterday's low for Bitcoin dominance was 5.05. 5.05. I am using RSI 7 for those that are curious and you want to see what I'm seeing. And it's even lower right now. It's at 3.98. The last time Bitcoin dominance's RSI, the daily RSI level, was this oversold. This should make your jaw absolutely drop. The last time this happened was back over here in February 2020. Before that, it was in April 2018. And then before that was the big granddaddy right here, March 2017. To be honest, this is where I think we're actually headed. I think we're going to see Bitcoin dominance fall a lot more. I think we're going to continue to see it fall a lot more. And it's going to correlate to a massive rotation into alts that we're already seeing. Top 10 dominance, what I affectionately call this group of Solana, BNB, XRP, Doge, ADA, or ADA, and SHIB, pumping massively. Others dominance, pumping a little bit. Ethereum dominance, this is irregular behavior. Like, this is insane. So I know a lot of you are getting itchy fingers and you're a little bit freaked out because of price performance right now. But guys, I personally expect this alt season to last at least 3 weeks. That would be the bare minimum. Before you look at those charts, Dan, I actually want to get a pulse from you because I had a live stream with Des last week. We talked about the summer. Historically speaking, August and September are red months, except for bull market years. If you go back and actually look at the stats in 2021, August and September were recovery years. There was actually green. In 2017, August and September were super bullish years. Super bullish months back then in that bull market year. Have you thought about that or like looked at that data? I know you look at tons of different data points. If not, it's fine. No worries.
Yeah. No, I have. It's interesting. I was listening to this Chris Chan Chifoy guy. I don't know, came across my feed. Seems to be a little bit of an esoteric trader. But he said the same thing, that he went through all the previous cycles and he found that August, September of the post-halving year tends to be pretty good. And then of course you see a melt up later into the year. What I personally think is going to happen though is I think that we will probably get a pullback sometime either in later this month or early August. I think that this is going to kind of fit into the consensus view that we're going to have a bearish August, September. But then by mid-August, like at the latest, I think we'll start to see things turn up and start to go basically like a melt up in crypto and stocks. And I think the catalyst for that is probably going to be OpenAI announcing GPT-5. Everyone will say that AGI is here, stocks will melt up, and you'll just see everything go crazy. And in the case of crypto, it could be, the narrative could be something along the lines of like, well, crypto isn't affected by tariffs. So, because tariffs come in on August 1st, sorry. So they could say like, oh, crypto's not affected by tariffs and now it's all legal. So like go crazy. And who knows, like, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like my take. I think basically what I think is I'll be honest, like it's too soon to know for sure. Like no one can predict even just like a couple days or a couple weeks out. And I've been very nervous even just to make a 24-hour call. um, but I actually have a post about this going out in the Coin Bureau Club. Like, look, like I'm not the best with charts. I'm not the best with macro. I'm not the best at crypto cycles. I'm not the best at all these things. But where I do think I have the edge is in terms of psychology. I'm a contrarian by nature, so I like whenever someone tells me it's this way, I'm like, I guarantee it's the other way.
You know, actually, Dan, I'm not a contrarian, just so you know.
Nice one. Like I'm a contrarian by nature, and I understand like to an extreme degree like human like, and of course I'm not even necessarily a psychological expert, but it's something I've been literally studying since I was a kid, like since I was like 11. Like I took my mom's university textbooks and I was studying them when I was 11. So I understand human psychology pretty deeply. And I've also been through enough of like crypto to understand that like, it's really funny actually, just as a quick anecdote, when I like now everyone, I think you were mentioning Aaron earlier, like rotation, there's a lot of people that are like either mostly in Bitcoin and they're thinking like, I want to go and now rotate into altcoins. And potentially this is like a good kind of like, cause you mentioned like, you know, Ben Cowan being right until this point. That's correct. But I think that imagine now just hypothetically, let's say you're 100% in Bitcoin, you're seeing altcoins rally and you're like, oh my God, like I need to buy some of this. So then you sell, let's say, I don't know, half your Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin goes up to 175, right? And the altcoin that you bought either stays the same or goes down, right? You will lose your focus. You will go crazy. You'll make bad decisions. I've been there. I'm sure a lot of people watching this have been there. So this is like again, like being 100% Bitcoin up until this point, I think is like either you're just like risk averse and you're just like, I'm just going to rotate into Ethereum and call it a day, right? Which it sounds like that's what kind of like Ben is doing, when like more power to him. But like for most people, they're really looking for like these big gains. And like, congratulations, you know, if you bought the lows in last August in Bitcoin, or if you bought even the lows, I don't know, before, then you're up, I don't know, like 2 to 4x, right? Like great. But now it's like, so you have this money, besides the fact that you're going to incur a taxable event when you go and rotate. You now have the tough decision, or the tough mission of like you were saying, Aaron, I think earlier in the stream, we are kind of like in this urgent period. It'll last multiple weeks. You have literally days to figure out which altcoins are going to rally the most. If you have not been doing that research up until this point, you're going to get screwed. Like just straight up, like there's a high chance that when you rotate, you're going to lose money. Because that's exactly what happened to me in the last cycle. Every single time I rotated, I lost money. And again, and I think, let's prove Ben Cowan wrong. But again, like it's not about proving Ben wrong. And again, like I'm the first to admit that Ben has been right until this point. But the question is, in your own personal, like again, the psychology aspect. Ben nailed the Bitcoin dominance. I'm not an expert in Bitcoin dominance. He is definitely an expert in Bitcoin dominance, but I am an expert in human psychology. And I know that being 50% Bitcoin, 50% altcoins until this point, I like Aaron, like the reason why I didn't sleep last night was not because I was wondering like what's going to pump and I'm going to miss the pump and what do I buy, because I already have everything. Okay, so like the reason I didn't sleep is because I made a prediction that I didn't know if it was going to go right or wrong like in the next 24 hours. But like I cannot tell you, like it has been, of course, for many people, it's been super tough if you're holding altcoins until this point. If you're holding mostly altcoins, especially small caps, you're probably hurting still pretty bad. You're still waiting for the return to break even. But you know, I was like 50% Bitcoin, let's say 30% in like large caps, and the rest kind of like in mid caps and small caps. And that portfolio's been doing fine like this entire time. And not only that, but like now we're entering what could potentially be the final phase of the cycle. And I have zero stress, zero anxiety. I don't have to think, what do I rotate into? What's going to be the big narrative? What are the top cryptos in the narrative? I have everything set up and I can rest and chill. And that is worth more to me than being up an extra 50% of my portfolio because I was 100% Bitcoin. I am 100% at rest and I can be calm and let the market do its work. That is the thing that like, again, and I apologize to anyone who like misunderstood me, or I apologize to those that maybe this is even something I should have explained maybe months ago, right? Like, and this is something that I think I'll do better next time, let's say. But anyways, let's maybe if it's okay with you, Aaron, let's jump into
you pull up the screen. I'll just kind of touch back on what you said too. The 2020 cycle, I wasted so much time with my business partner trying to find the best gem, the coolest new protocol, doing all this, like, you know, looking for the next diamond in the rough, where literally if we just bought and held the top 10, top 20 tokens, we would have outperformed even what we picked. And what I'm seeing now, like Ethereum starting to go up, XRP, new all-time high. XLM, like BNB is breaking out. Doge is up today, like 80. Like, don't be surprised, guys. Like, when the conditions are right, like it's like shooting fish in a barrel, but you don't have to go to the bottom of the barrel to find the shiniest golden koi fish to hawk at the highest price. Like, you can do really well, even just making it easy on yourself. But yeah, sorry, man, go ahead. So you got Sol and Sui, right?
Yeah, I'm starting here with Solana, and I'll dedicate this analysis to you, Aaron. Again, like I don't use RSI too much in my own personal analysis, but I do have another post about, I'm like kind of like giving spoilers here. I have another post coming out about this on the Coin Bureau Club. But if we look, so we're looking at Solana here on the monthly. You could make the argument that Solana has been chopping sideways now for like 14 months. It has done absolutely, yes, it has some deviation above. Yes, it had some deviation below, but it has been trading around $180, let's say between 150, 180 for the last like year and a half almost. Yep. What is quote unquote different? What's different is that we have completely reset like these, what was it? We've reset positioning and we've reset sentiment, right? Like you do not have the same level of FOMO like you did in March 2024, but Sol is at the same price, okay? And you can even see it here. RSI back then was 80, like 81, 82. Now the RSI is what, like 56? And so in my mind, there's one of two, and this is why I don't believe there's going to be a crash over the summer, because a lot of people think that there's going to be a pullback in August, September, and then we get the rally later this year. If you look historically, the only previous, I don't have like the full chart here or anything. I guess it is technically the full chart because Solana hasn't been around for too long. The last time that Solana fell below, let's say, I don't know, whatever it is here, below this lower range, I think last time Solana fell consistently below 50 on the RSI was when it entered a bear market. So if you're going to say that we're going to get another correction in August or September leading into the fall, then this would require Solana's RSI to again go below this level that would technically put it in a bear market. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think it is reset, and it is now basically the same. It's looking more like it was in October 2023 before it melted up and pulled almost a 10x, or basically pulled a 10x. Right. And we are basically at the same level of RSI now. So, and especially with everything else rallying and the bullish kind of like bias and everything, I think the chances of Solana doing another, again, it's not going to do a 10x, like, let's be real. But the idea that Solana would see another massive move higher from this level on the RSI where sentiment and everything is already reset, I think the chances of that is way higher than it's going to roll over into this territory where it's basically in bear market territory. I don't think that's going to happen over the summer. And unless you believe, and I will caveat that with, if you believe that there's going to be a cycle top for altcoin sometime in 2026, then sure, I'll grant you that. Yeah, maybe we'll get, and then into the end of, I don't know, the end of this year, and then sometime into early next year, and you get like a huge drawdown in altcoins. Solana goes all the way back down to like $50 and then chops there for a few months and then recovers, and we get a massive double bottom pattern here. Okay, sure. I can see that, but I just don't think it's likely. So that's one for Solana. Just I guess, again, like I'm not really giving any price predictions here. I think maybe I'll zoom in the short term because I'm sure that some people want to have a little bit of a better sense here. Let me just remove I hate that my mouse is like super sticky. So,
it's okay. You just get some baking soda on that and
I'll remove, And
I'll keep like a content blocker. Like I think there's an app called Covenant Eyes. I could help install that for you, man, if you want.
No, thank you. I don't need any spyware on my computer. I have enough of it. I'm just kidding. It's okay. But anyway, so what's interesting is that even from my own personal technical analysis, I think that Solana, like a lot of people are saying Solana to 200, and that makes sense to me. But when I just look at this range here between 140 and 180, that looks more like Solana 220 than Solana 200. And it even makes sense when you consider like we're likely to see, I don't know, let's say roughly a 20% rally. That would put Solana closer to 220 than it does to 200, because 10% would take it to 200 basically. So the idea that Solana goes to, I don't know, let's say 210 or like 215, if maybe we zoom out a little bit here more and get a little bit of a better picture. Yeah, to go to like 211 or whatever, right? I'm sure that, like, I know a lot of technical analysts, like people like to focus on like these little like, specific levels, but like the 211, 215, something like that, I think that would make perfect sense. And then get a little bit of a pullback, maybe back down, who knows, to 200 or even 180, and then you get that final blast up move higher. So that's for Solana. And if you have anything to add to that, Aaron, I don't know if.
Local top?
Local top.
Yeah, there's resistance, in my opinion, like 237 at 230. But if things are going to full port send, if XRP has already made a new all-time high, everything else, not everything else, but a lot of top 10s will follow. So, ultimately, Solana to like 700, I think is realistic. If things are going to get frothy. So, yeah.
And Now look, you can see my Sui.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, you wanted to say something, Aaron?
Yeah. No, I want to make sure. I mean, a lot of you are with us today, and we have the experimental feature on. I think it's, I don't know how to point. Like, God, I hate this. It's always flipped. It's so annoying. Down there, we can see you talking. Watch yourselves, people. Come on. Come on. Be respectful. No, you're all doing fine. But I'm trying to do my best to watch tickers and also guess what you guys are asking for. Make sure that you like the video. If you're new here, you're awesome. Just for being here and hanging with us, hit the subscribe button. You will not regret it. Help us get to 100,000 subs. We are literally 10,000 subs away from 100K. So help us get there by sharing the stream, sharing the videos, subscribing, all that good stuff. Okay. All right, man. You go ahead and take it away. And while you do, actually, after your chart reveal, I'm going to do a last final reveal for my last candy that I've been snacking on right here. So you go ahead and you do you, and I'll do me, and I'll continue to munch, and I'll share later.
Okay, perfect. So we're looking now at Sui on the daily. What's really interesting to me is, like, if we zoom in here, you can see that the price action we're seeing now is literally identical to like the bull flag that we saw just like a week ago. So we're seeing, like, we have a first bull flag and now we have like a second bull flag forming. And if we zoom out, the next level, like if you just take the difference between those two levels, we're looking at what, like roughly 50 cents. So a breakout for Sui, I don't know, let's say roughly, I think it's around, let's say $4.1, just to keep it simple. To get a rally then up to like sorry, I should have drawn that differently. To get a rally up to like 4.6, roughly to around 4.6, I think that makes perfect sense. I think that could come literally in the next couple of days. Then maybe we get a little bit of chop around that zone, and then we continue heading higher. And then you can be really bold, and you can say, you know, okay, well then once Sui's above, like once Sui's like, let's say up in that chopping in that 4.6 range, we can theoretically, you know, like take this whole lower area here, somewhere around $1.75. And you can say that, you know, the difference between $1.75 and roughly, well, at that stage, roughly $5, let's say, just to keep things simple, you'd be looking at a Sui price of like somewhere around $7.30, $7.50 in the next few weeks, right? Which again is not too shabby, but which is not too shabby. But I'm sure that some people are expecting higher. I personally think that it's possible, and I know it sounds crazy. I think it's possible that Sui could go as high as like, well, like my personal price target is somewhere around $19 to $21. I think it could end up somewhere in the teens, but it's going to be one of these scenarios where either it like stops out somewhere around, I don't know, let's say $8 or $9, or it gets above $10 and it goes to like 13 or something. I think that would like, I'm kind of 50-50 between that and then like it hitting this like, you know, $19, $21 target. Because again, like when you have these round numbers, then typically you'll get like front running, or you'll get like whales pushing the price above, so that everyone who sold ahead of that target like feels FOMO and gets sucked back in. So that's like a super common thing in crypto, especially in altcoins, and also in Bitcoin for that matter. But the last thing I will say, and I actually should have, or maybe I can see if I can find it now, since I have the chart up already. The other thing I'm going to be watching very closely as well is the Sui BTC chart. It's actually interesting. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. It's been a minute. So let me actually zoom out to the weekly here, and I will. As you can see, I'm not like some expert. Like I see people like drawing these lines like super fast on stream, and I'm like, how do you even do that? I don't like.
You'll get there, young Padawan. Don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway, so again, like similar idea here is like the Sui BTC pair has been basically just been chopping again, like where exactly this range is. It's up for debate. Okay, it's a little bit lower, it's a little bit higher. Who cares? The point is that we've seen Sui BTC chopping in this range here. Eventually, it's going to break out of that range, and once we get a break out of that range, and I don't know, like somewhere up, like, and it's actually an interesting kind of like thought experiment. So. And we can even draw another, for that matter, we could even draw another trend line here. We could say something like this, right? Just again, I'm being super like messy here, and which would be actually relatively consistent with something like a breakout out of this range, like something like this, and you get like a breakout of this range. And I'm sure if I was to measure that, which I'm too lazy to do, then it would end up somewhere around this level. The point being is that and I'll actually measure it in terms of percentage terms from the breakout, not from the, so that would be, roughly 50%. And from the current level, I think that would be roughly yeah, see, I'm a total, everyone's probably just facepalming like, Jesus, Dan, like, what is it?
You know what? You have the screen, man. You just take your time. You're good. Don't worry about it.
You need to tell I haven't slept in like forever. Anyway, yeah, so you'd have roughly, you'd roughly have, let's say, from the current Sui BTC level, which again, you could even draw another trend line here and say it's right here. Anyway, from the current Sui BTC level, it's roughly going to double. So let's do a little thought experiment here. So if if Bitcoin is going to hit Aaron's target, let's say around 100 and 173, you said, Aaron, roughly?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. So that's roughly, let's just, for the sake of simple math, we'll just say it's a 50% gain. I know it's slightly less, it's like 45 or 43 or whatever, but let's just say 50, just for keep things simple. So Bitcoin goes up by 50. If Sui BTC then doubles, all else being equal, then that with Bitcoin going up 50%, then that would translate. Oh Jesus, I'm even like messing up the math here on my own stream. So even I'll do an even simpler math. Sui price right now somewhere around $4. So Sui price goes up double, so it goes to $8, and then you slap on 50% on top of that, you end up at $12. I don't know if I did that math correctly. Again, I'm like super sleep deprived, but that's kind of like the math that I use. It's like, so Sui's price doubles, and then Bitcoin goes up 50%. So then you add 50% to the doubling of Sui's price, and you end up at $12 as a target. So that's like again, am I saying Sui's going to hit $12? Maybe, but I have a feeling that, especially in something like Sui's case, which is very whale dominated, the chances of whales pushing up the price, because everyone is going to sell at $7, $8. They're going to think that's it, that's the end, and then you get some GameFi announcement. That's what people don't forget. Is like when people ask us like, why do you think like Sui's going to have another big leg higher? Because Sui so far has pumped this much with no hype around the GameFi niche, and Sui is the top GameFi crypto. So all it takes is like some gaming studio to say, hey, we're partnering with Sui, Grand Theft Auto partnering with Sui. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but just imagine Grand Theft Auto, like Rockstar Games comes out, yeah, we're going to use Sui for Grand Theft Auto with crypto features next year. How high and how fast do you think Sui would go? And again, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but these are the possibilities that you have to put in the back of your mind, especially when it's like, what do you call it? With like the SEC putting in this exemptive relief framework. Again, This is like, I haven't looked at the Sui BTC chart literally in like months. So I apologize to anyone who's like looking at this chart like face palming. I'm just literally doing things on the fly here. But like, again, long story short, it looks like Sui is going to double against Bitcoin. It's going to double against Bitcoin. And then, Bitcoin's going to go up 50%. Anyway, you get it. I'm sure maybe I messed it up. Let me know in the comments if I completely screwed that up. Anyway.
Oh man, never ever apologize for being absolutely elated and lovable. It's totally fine. Yeah. I want to jump in because I see more stuff happening. People are asking for different charts as well. Like, you guys are ridiculously on fire today. We have 1,000 of you watching live, which is rad. You got to make sure that you slam the like button, because that would also help a lot as well to help us grow the channel. And also, guys, share the videos. Like, this is, come on, see, come on. All right, so I want to actually follow up with you on Sui, just to give you a different perspective. Okay, we won't even use my glorious TBO. Price literally pushed above long-term overhead resistance. This is the weekly chart. So closing above it on the weekly, which will probably happen, is amazing. The fact that it wicked to the 786 to 420, love it. The thing that makes me more excited about this chart is because we are actually seeing the same thing happening again. If you zoom out, I mean, it's not going to ever look picture perfect, but this is literally the same thing. Look, take the top to the drop. Where did the price stop? Just below the 1618. It topped out about 535. This gave us a good level of price, like to kind of find a target for support and resistance, all that stuff. So we can literally just do the same thing with the current fibs, and it gives us a target midway 731, and top, it's in red, it's hard to see, but 1085. I'd love to see Sui up there to 10. That would be amazing. So yeah, I don't think it's that hard to imagine at all. I want to talk about I see people asking for it, and I want to talk about it just because I love it so much. SPX 6900. This chart is awesome. I don't know who you guys follow on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, but I love the fact that I think it was Will Clemente, who's a pretty popular crypto influencer who's spoken a lot. He just tweeted, not full ported, but he just basically top blasted SPX. And someone said, are you seriously, you seriously bought the top right now? And his response is perfect. And this is exactly my philosophy too. Yes, of course I bought the top, because it's proven itself to be strong bullish. It's like, I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, it would have been much better to buy down here like I did and a lot of other people did, and being up like 240%, sure. But he doesn't have such a bad point either. The chart is super strong bullish. I mean, easy targets in my book are up here like at $3, and then here just below $6. In my opinion, that's because it's mostly because of the mania, the euphoria around it, that people love it, and Murad will literally not stop talking about this one. It's funny though, because he got kind of quiet, didn't he, about Giga and Bitcoin and all the other ones, but he really just honed in. But you know, we can just kind of think of him like a woodworker or like a carpenter or like a sculptor. He's just kind of like fleshing it out, taking his ideas and like, yeah, I think I like this. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. I really want this. This is what I had in mind. This is that from the beginning. So yeah, I think that SPX will have its time to shine. I think it will pump just like a lot of other meme coins. And I actually want to talk about meme coins in general now, because I see a lot of people asking and talking about Doge. Doge is pumping right now. It's literally pumping up 12%, which is awesome. There's resistance with the TBO at 25 cents, which, I mean, after a move of 12, 13% wouldn't be so ridiculous. But the thing you have to remember about Doggy is that Doggy already had its time in the sun. Mm-hmm. If you think about Doge and its history, we actually have to go way back over here, because Doge went absolutely nuts, banana nuts, like caramel banana nuts with salt, like 16,000%, guys. If you think that Doge is going to pull another move like that, you are out of your minds. But what will probably happen is like the Doge 2.0 coins. I don't even know if there is one. If there is, I don't really care about it.
There is. Oh,
sure.
Sorry to interrupt, Aaron. I will quickly mention to everyone my hot take for anyone who's crazy about meme coins and insists, again, not financial advice. I personally think that the quote unquote next Dogecoin will be a cat theme meme coin of some kind. Which one is it? Which is the best one? I have no idea. All I know is that dog theme meme coins were dominating, and I think even Kobe, like this guy who's like get big into crypto, he like jokingly posted that he's 80% in cat meme coins and 20% in CIA coins. So that's anyway, we'll see.
Okay. But no, you're good, man. You're good. So I mean, yes, there are other coins like Shiba Inu, there's Floki, but to be honest, personally, I'm looking at charts like Bonk, because Bonk, it's a dog coin, but it's relatively new from 2023. It did not previously exist like back since 2013, like Doge. I would say like the new gen of meme coins have more potential than the older grandpa meme coins. They're still good. They're lovable. It's fantastic. But I mean, Fartcoin had a magnificent move and a terrible drop, 92%, and it's fully recovered and it's going to go up higher. At least that's what I'm expecting. Thinking about like virtuals. I mean, it's not really a meme coin, but I mean, moves like this, like we're going to see more of this happen when the conditions are right. And when did this start pumping? I just want to zoom in one more time just to confirm when it really started to go nuts. Oh, that's right. Back over here in October and November. Look, when we had this massive rally, and even in that massive rally, it shot up 1,000%. Gosh, what are the odds of that happening? You know what I mean? So crazy that the conditions were just perfect for things to absolutely pump to mind-numbing levels. Wow, that was actually a word. Mao. I'm going to use that from now on. Pengu, new-ish, not that new, but new-ish. I mean, it's new-ish because it's a token, but not new because it's NFT. But I mean, why stop Pengu moving all the way up to like some crazy levels? And again, these are my thoughts. These are not Dan's thoughts. These are mine alone. They don't represent the Coin Bureau. But the point being, like, why won't these coins, why can't they actually outperform? Why can't they prove themselves? Because that's what the free market is meant to do. So I'm looking at stuff right now going, even like the Pump Fund token, which is dumping, which is hilarious, just a little bit. I could honestly see Pump Fund actually doing a face melting run up to like, 5 cents, 10 cents, something like that. Not saying it's going to happen, but just don't count it out. You can't let the old guard influence what you think that's going to happen next. So like you talking about cat coins being the next big thing. Sure. I mean, AI meme coins were a thing. Maybe it's going to be RWA meme coins. Can you even do that? Like, yeah, there's too much happening. Like we're coming into a season where it's basically everything up season.
Yeah. Aaron,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I'll quickly add to your point that, like you're saying, it's like, you're pointing out these things, and to most people that are probably watching, like you're saying, it just looks ridiculous and impossible. I think it makes perfect sense because, again, when you get to the stage in the cycle, you cannot think logically, you cannot think rationally. You will get smoked. I missed out on a 300x because I was thinking logically in the previous cycle because I bought what was it? I bought Polygon, I bought Matic when it was like a cent or 3 cents or whatever. And then I was like, and then I sold it at like a 10x profit because I'm like, 10x is great, and optimism is going to come, and then Polygon is going to fail. Optimism got delayed, and then Matic just went up like vertically. Okay, so you cannot think logically, you cannot think rationally. You have to think. You have to be you have to think in like almost an emotional way, and you have to think like, how high could this go if there's speculative mania? The ones that you pointed out, Aaron, fart coin, like people, like when people look at the fart coin, they're like, come on, Aaron, like I'm sure you must be like shilling or something. No, fart coin, and people misunderstand this. Fart coin is tied to the AI age. It's tied to the whole AI agents and everything niche. If we do get OpenAI announcing GPT-5, what do you think is going to pump the most? AI cryptos, AI meme coins. Fart coin is going to rally. Yeah. Virtuals is going to rally. And even Pengu, as a really fun fact, and I'm sorry to ramble on this, but it's very fascinating. It's something that people need to keep in mind. During the 2001 .com bubble, I was alive back then, but I was a wee little lad. During the 2001 .com bubble, one of the hallmarks of that peak of that bubble was a mascot for pets.com. And when I see Pengu on stage with Van Eck and like ringing their bell or whatever in the thing, like, this is history repeating, like textbook. And so do not, when people start saying, and again, you have to think emotionally, not logically. When people start saying it's going up only, it's going to go up forever, this is the new narrative, tariffs don't affect crypto, whatever, decoupling, you name it, central banks buying, that's when you get the hell out. Okay. Like, not financial advice. There you go.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think we have so many good questions. It's ridiculous. And you guys keep smashing the like button. I think that these are really good questions to answer next. And we might even look at some more charts. Are you good on time? I just realized that we're on still.
I mean, are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've just had so much sugar. I'm going to be totally fine. And I forgot to honor my commitment to you. I'm so sorry. My last and final delicious treat that I'm having right now. Oh, you can't see it so well. This is one of my favorites. This is the back. My camera's going to spaz out. It's okay. It's takenoko no sato. This stuff is legit amazing. It's in the shape of takenoko, which are little bamboo shoots, and they're little crackers, biscuits covered with chocolate. If you see these at the store, don't be freaked out. They look like pine cones or they look like weird poops. They're just really good. Buy them, eat them. There you go. Okay. Awesome. I have 2 good questions. I need to chew this because it's so good. I need another pick me up. So I'm going to pass this question to you and I'll answer the second one.
Sure.
Okay. So this is an easy question for you. It's from EJ. I just buy and hold. So what's a rough estimate of when to sell? Not financial advice, I'm sure. He's probably asking, what are you going to be looking at that will be your sell signal? I think that's a better thing to say from an educational standpoint.
The simple, again, you have to think in terms of emotions, and the simplest way is that the time to sell is when you don't want to sell. The time to sell is when you're like, I don't want to sell. I want to hold on to this forever. That's when you get rid of it. What is that level? What exactly that level is, when it's going to happen? It varies from crypto to crypto, probably just like a few days. I'm sure everything will kind of rally in tandem. That's like another big question that I hear a lot. It's like, well, when is this thing going to rally? Is it going to happen? It'll all happen within the same span of like a couple of weeks. So, assuming that we do actually get this rally and we don't get a correction in the summer, like Aaron was asking about earlier. If you just buy and hold, what's the rough estimate of when to sell is when you really feel like I not only do I not want to sell, I want to buy more. I promise myself, like, you're going to see this everywhere. You're going to see people like, I promise myself I'm not going to buy more altcoins. I already bought enough. I already lost enough money. I'm not going to buy altcoins. I'm not going to buy altcoins. I'm only going to stick to Bitcoin. I'm going to save in Bitcoin. I'm not going to buy altcoins. When that switch in your head changes and you say, now I need to buy, I'm going to sell all my Bitcoin. Bitcoin's only going to go up. This is probably the top for Bitcoin. I need to rotate. I need to rotate. I need to rotate. When you get those thoughts, that's when you sell everything. And of course, it's a scary thing too, because for some people, they're already feeling it now, which is the hard part about crypto. You have to try and keep your emotions at a calm. Yep. And so that's really tricky, because like for some people, when I say this, they're like, well, I'm feeling like that now. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? You know, but in all seriousness, like just the key, and I'll just say this very quickly. The key to success in crypto is you have to do whatever you need to stay calm. If that means being 50-50 Bitcoin and altcoins like I was, then great. If that means being 100% Bitcoin, then that's great. If that means being 100% altcoins, that's great, right? It varies from person to person. So again, just whatever you need to do to stay calm, just please do that for your own mental health, and it'll help you potentially make money, at least in my experience. Anyway.
Agreed and amen. We have another really good question here, and I'm going to tackle this one. When should we expect a pullback from Tosec? That's a really, really good question, because like Dan was saying, like things are looking really good. Everyone feels really good right now. But when we have a pullback, oh man, just imagine the smell, because think of how much more leverage is being put into the system. All these charts are pumping. People are not just buying on spot. They're buying with leverage positions, leverage longs, probably some of them 50x, 100x. When we have the slightest little hiccup or burp from Bitcoin, the market's going to go, and it's literally just going to dump and crash. You're going to see charts drop 20, 30, 40% in a day, just like we saw back in January of 2024, before it topped out in March. We saw the same thing happen back in, I believe in January of 2021. It did a similar, Bitcoin did a similar thing, and it freaked out the whole market. That's the big sign we want to look out for. What typically happens, what am I doing? Let me just stop talking abstractly right now. When we see Bitcoin make a big pullback, like back over here, we don't even need indicators for this. Like right here, this was enough of a pullback here from 108K down, like what, 13, 14, 15%, something like that. Or like this move here, I remember this on the 5th of December, this weird candle that went in both directions, 13%. That's a signal candle. It doesn't say anything other than hold on to your britches, ladies and gents. Like this is going to get rough real soon. So yes, you'll see a little bit of corrections as the price goes up, but I'm not talking about like a little pullback. I'm talking about a jolt in the market. And when we get those jolts, that's a big signal that things are slowing down. Right here, the 5th of March, there were so many liquidations. I got liquidated on a position back on this day, but I also had an amazing entry with leverage, which was the stupidest thing ever, but I forgot I had an open order. It wasn't for Bitcoin, it was for something else. And I literally bought the bottom with leverage, and it was like a 200-300% trade. It was amazing. But the main thing is that look at when this happened, the 5th of March, and then just like a week or two later, that was basically the top. The reality is that no one knows when the pullback is going to happen. The pullback's going to happen when it happens. What we know, though, is when we have a major significant pullback with a lot of volume that shocks the crypto system, it shocks liquidity like it did back over here on the 5th of March. See the volume? Like that's insane. That's the big warning flag. So until we get something like this happening, and trust me, you're going to know when this happens, okay? So let me go back to one more example, okay? Like I can show you lots of these, unfortunately, because I've been in this market for too long. Let's go back. Oh, computer's choking up. Come on, man. We need to go back in time with Huey Lewis. All right, right here. January 2021. So we saw Bitcoin make this nice move, and then all of a sudden it went like that. Just had like a little bit of a hernia. It fall down like 27% in 2 days. This move right here, oh man, this shocked the market big time. People were panicking, lots of liquidations, lots of scared faces, lots of people doom posting, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin goes, no, everything's fine, guys, just chill out. It goes up another 60%. I want to share this with you to show you that even if we have one of these, it doesn't mean we're done then. We could still see the market go up higher. But understand that the first major significant liquidation event, which will be a severe and very fast pullback supported with a lot of volume, that's going to be the big signal to watch out for. So when should we expect the pullback? I don't know, but I don't want to see it for a long time. When it does happen, we'll make videos. You'll be subscribed. You hit the notification, you hit the bell icon. Trust me, you will know when that happens. We haven't seen that happen yet. This was not it. This was a little Bambi fart right here. 3.5% is nothing Trust me, you will know when it happens. Okay. All right. Do you want to look at some more charts, man? How are you feeling right now? Are you satisfied with the like to view ratio?
I mean, I can't see it, but
it's not bad. It could be higher. It could be higher. It could always be higher.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. No, I think I'm trying to think of like, well, I guess to your point, Aaron, maybe I will share one chart. It's another one I shared in recent videos.
Yeah, let me hide my screen. You go ahead, man.
Yeah, sorry. Cool. So for the total crypto market cap.
Yes.
You can see it?
No, I have to add you.
No.
Now we see it.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, like in my own personal analysis here is like every single time we see Bitcoin break above like a long-term resistance trend line, or in the last, let's say, like year and a half, 2 years, every single time it breaks above a long-term resistance trend line, the total crypto market cap, then it will just melt up for like 6 weeks. And we saw that in January 2024. We saw that in October 2024, heading into the end of the year. And it looks like we're seeing that start now in July of 2025, which would theoretically mean just like a massive, massive summer melt up in the total crypto market cap. And this is the one thing, I guess it kind of ties into the question of like, when will there be a pullback? From a technical perspective, even Aaron, like the CME gap and everything, right? Like around, it still hasn't been filled, around like 114,000. My personal opinion, my personal analysis is that we will get a rally into the end of this month. Sometime early next month, we get a pullback in stocks and in crypto. That could be this kind of liquidation event you're talking about, where at that stage, who knows, maybe Bitcoin's around like 125, 130. Maybe it's even around these levels. Who knows? But at some point, it's going to need, like, again, it doesn't need to, but historically, it will retest that. It'll retest that CME gap right around 114,000. Which, if Bitcoin is up at whatever it is, like 125, then that's going to be a pretty scary move, right? Like in a short period of time. And so that could potentially happen. But the thing is that this is like inconsistent with like the recent history that we've just seen. Like when we see a breakout, it just keeps going up for like 6 weeks. Like you were saying, 3 weeks minimum. Like here, it's like, like 5, 6, like, like minimum. But who knows? Maybe we can even zoom in here. You can make the argument there was a couple like wicks if we zoom, because of course we're on the weekly, right? So you don't get you miss some of the nuance in there. So maybe I'll actually zoom into the daily, and then maybe we can see the types of things that you were just mentioning, Aaron. Where let's take a look at the previous. And again, I'm being careful so here, like something like this move here, which I don't know how big that was. 10% move like over the span of like 2 days, which is, I guess, like, I mean, I'm not throwing on the volume here, so but this is the total crypto market cap, just to keep in mind. And then similar to what you were saying, Aaron, is like back here, we have a similar thing, actually. And this, again, we're looking at the total crypto market cap, not, but this was, you were just looking at this March 2024. We saw a drop in the total crypto market cap of like 13% or whatever in that one day. And then and then shortly afterwards, you saw that melt up. So again, the idea that you'll see something like that again within this structure, I guess, is possible. When exactly that happens, I mean, I guess it's anyone's guess. It'll, like you were saying, Aaron, it's like it's going to be somewhere probably in the middle of the structure. If the structure lasts, again, 5 to 6 weeks, and we are now in the first week, then we would see potentially, again, sometime in early August, assuming that you see a perfect repeat of history, which of course is never a perfect repeat, right? Like even just as a quick side note, like this pattern that I was watching here, I was so nervous when there was when we were on the brink of a breakout above this level, because we saw the exact same pattern happen in the previous cycle. And back when that happened back here, we actually saw another one last leg lower before it went up higher. And I was thinking, like, are we going to get that one last leg lower? And we didn't. It just blasted off and it just kept going higher. So I was expecting like a move down here. Anyway, so that's the thing I want to share.
What came to mind when I was looking at that too, thinking about when the pullback happens. It doesn't happen at the beginning. And the reason why is because everyone is still in disbelief about the rally. Even when charts are pumping like crazy, usually those pullbacks don't happen within the first couple of weeks, but it's by about week 4 or week 5 into the rally. If it's a real significant one, people are getting super cocky, super overconfident. People start not showing up to work. People start taking out loans to buy more of this, that, and the other. Like when listen to me loud and clear, people, because this is happening already. Now I've helped to onboard a lot of people, but when I have friends and family texting me about Fartcoin, when I have friends and family asking me about what they should rotate into next, because they've already made like a 300x. When you start hearing stuff like that from people, or you're out in public at a coffee shop, at a restaurant, just on the street, and you hear people saying like, yeah, man, I just bought like my first Bitcoin or stuff like that. People probably won't say it. Hopefully people don't say stuff like that. You shouldn't. That's a really dumb thing to do.
Yeah.
But when people openly start talking about crypto and like normal prices and you just kind of pick it up, all of those are sell signals. If you ever want to know what a sell signal is, when people around you that were quiet about crypto or laughed at you or like mocked you for it, now they're asking you for advice. Now they're coming back to you for tips. Now they're saying, oh, I found this one. What do you think about this? Those are huge sell signals.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another big thing to pay attention to. As
Has
far
it
as
happened
like,
to you yet?
yeah, pullbacks and predicting pullbacks, because when everyone is in, that's when the rug just goes. There's a huge liquidation event. It's disgusting.
Has it happened to you yet, Aaron? Have you heard anyone? Because it's radio silence on my end. No one is asking about anything right now. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had a couple people, but they're staying in touch with me more about like how they're feeling, how they're handling the market and stuff like that. But the one signal that kind of freaked me out, to be honest, was my mom texted me 2 weeks ago saying that she just had this itchy feeling and she just wanted to buy Bitcoin and all this stuff. So she bought more Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. She literally bought at the best possible place, the best possible time before everything pumped. I'm like, how do you keep doing this? How did I not inherit this spidey sense? Like, that's insane. But stuff like that is happening, and it's still like, even when she was asking me or saying that, I was going like I don't like hearing stuff like that. It's like, I'm happy for people, I'm happy for her, I'm happy for my friends making money, but it's like they're radio silent about crypto 98% of the time, right? So it's like, ugh.
Yeah,
a little bit, yeah. Let's look at a couple more charts. I keep seeing people talking about Say.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about Say? You feel like you could give that one a whack?
Yeah. Let me take a look.
You take Say, and I'm going to take on Litecoin. Fight. Finish him. All
yeah.
Right. You guys like the video. You guys are doing awesome. This is the most fun live stream we've ever had. If we're going to make this a weekly thing, though, I'm going to ask Nick to reimburse me for my snacks. You ready? You got it?
Yeah, man.
No, you didn't share it yet. Share it. Everybody write in the chat. Share it, Dan. Hurry up, Dan. Share it, Dan. Yes, fatality.
Nice sticky mouse here. Say, okay.
Man, you really got to. We can talk after the stream sometime if you want. Okay.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it, I guess, in a previous stream before too.
You sure did.
Yeah. But yeah, the oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Not that website, Dan. Not that website.
Yeah, so the interesting thing with Say, so we're looking at Say on the monthly, with the Bollinger Band moving average here on the monthly. So basically, I think Say is probably going to rally up to around 43, 45 cents by the end of the month. We can even see, and that's what I was in the process of potentially drawing here. Oh, apparently I already did draw it because of this clicky ass mouse somewhere here. Like again, like not an exact level, but like roughly in this range. You can see that there's kind of like a resistance range somewhere here around 40, 45, right? Like somewhere in this range. You could maybe make the case it's a little bit higher if I can grab this. Apparently not. Yeah, anyways, forget it. I just completely messed up the chart. But the point being that Say it looks like it's going to rally up to around 44 cents here by the end of the month. And then after that, again, you can just do the classic thing. And actually, without the wicks, it's actually helpful because I don't think the wicks are very helpful for the simple reason that it's mostly driven by liquidations, which I don't personally find to be too helpful. And you could make the case here that, you know, we have an upper range. Again, this is a very super, I'm sure I'm going to already get questions in the Coin Bureau Club. But we have a very conservative estimate here of like a lower range somewhere around 15 cents, upper range somewhere around 85 cents. We take the difference between those two levels. We're looking at what? That's like 60, 70 cents, 70 cents. Help me out here, Aaron, with my crap math. Yeah. It's 70 cents. So 70-cent difference.
The candy's too good. I'm not going to talk. I'm just enjoying it.
70-cent difference. And then the next level here would be somewhere around $1.5 would be the next target once it breaks breaks above this again, I guess to clarify, first stop somewhere around 45 cents. That'll be the kind of the first stop for Say. Next stop after that will be somewhere around 85 cents, and then next stop after that probably somewhere around $1.50. And I'm curious to see, Aaron, if you're I know you do like these like Fibonacci retracements or whatever. I mean, sorry, you're gonna analyze something else. But if you do have Say handy, I would like to see your analysis to see, because I just did find it very interesting when I was just doing that very back of the hand like math of like, and this is why Say will go above $10. Then you pull up the fibs and you're like, I got you. So I don't know if you have that again.
Absolutely. Let me put her up. Wait, wrong thing. This thing, that thing. Cool. Oh, man. It's a rough chart, man. It just looks so sad. Well, the thing about fib retracement drawings is that, first off, you guys got to read a book by a woman named Carolyn Borodin. Don't find a, pirated version. Pay for your education, guys. Come on, seriously. A lot of you that are using your friends like Netflix password still, and you're trading crypto and making money. Shame on you. Shame. But one thing she talks about is like, where do you draw your high to your lows, right? Because you really want to find the peak high, peak low, but it depends when you have like movement like this. One thing she talks about a lot that I really like is basically layering them to see if you find overlapping values, which we do, which is wild. So for one, there's an overlapping value actually every single move up, which is insanity. It makes a lot of sense, but it's kind of crazy too. So there's decent resistance as far as fibs go here at this previous high at like 70 cents, of course at the all-time high. But the crazy thing is that, I mean, $2, I mean, again, I always err more on the side of like frothiness, because when things get frothy, especially charts that haven't experienced a real proper bull market, they could get really frothy. So yes, the all-time high is a good target, but go higher. Like there, yeah. And again, I'm not looking to take, if I'm entering a position, let me say it this way, I'm going to be taking profit incrementally, little bits, little clips as it goes up higher, but I'm going to leave a lot in the position. Like 30% to me is a lot. Maybe for some of you, 50% should be what it is, or 70%, but I want to make sure to secure profit in stable coins to buy the dip. Because even with this chart, you can see on the daily, like, yes, it'll rip and then it'll dip down really hard. Like a rip like this going up 70% and then to lose 50% of the value. Yes, it goes up higher, but if you're just full ported in and you're not selling anything, you're not taking profit, then you don't have anything to reinvest in the dips. So that way you can trade the next leg up. So that's what I'm seeing on Say. And the other thing that's poking out at me right now, I'm surprised I don't even have it drawn there, is this overhead resistance level that it has to conquer. Yeah, that's hilarious. Good luck, Say. Well, the good news is that it's still, it's still rallying. It's good. The bad news is that if it keeps its trajectory, it's going to run into overhead resistance. It's going to run into overlapping fib levels at basically 50 cents. It's also going to run into a psychological level of 50 cents. That's going to be pretty hard for Say. And unfortunately, it has a pretty strong pattern as well. If we are to take that into account and just go off of oscillations, I mean, it's not a good look. I don't think it'll go down because, again, the market's bullish. But let me phrase it more bullishly for all of you that are really upset now. Because things are still leaning very bullish, a breakup of this will probably liquidate a lot of short sellers, and especially people won't be expecting it to go here or here. That's another thing that also drives up prices, by the way. If we take the early days of Say into account, we had like this listing high over here on Binance. Let me get the actual peak because I want to see. When we see the price start to rally and recover and stuff like this, eventually we get a little bit of friction at like a listing high, but eventually the price just rips up higher, albeit not that much higher. It's a good move, like 60, 70, 80%, 100% total. But just be careful betting against a really bullish uptrend. Yes, there will be pullbacks. There will be a little bit of hiccups now and then, but don't try to short any of these uptrends. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, but I'll tell you that for me, for sure, I'm not shorting anything right now. The other thing I'll say is that you are limited in your profit potential for shorting. If you're shorting an asset and you're using just 1x leverage, okay, just to make a really stupid point, Your max number that the price can go down is 99.9999% going down to zero, just like Terra Luna, just like a lot of other coins do, a lot of meme coins, right? You are limited in your potential. Comparing that to a long, which a long from here, you have unlimited potential of where a chart could go. If things, for some reason, go absolutely crazy and it goes up to $100, there's way more upside potential. When the conditions are right, it makes so much more sense to go long. And I'm not even saying use leverage, but I'm just making the point that if you are trying to short this market, just use a little bit and take profit quickly, because when things are super bullish, yes, they can go up a lot higher than people expect, but don't try to make your money in a bull market by shorting. That's foolish. Go with the trend. Go with the trend, man. I saw people asking for Litecoin. That's what I was going to look at.
And then maybe after that, Aaron, we'll have to wrap things up, because I actually do need to have some stuff I need to get to here.
You just have to use the bathroom, and it's okay. You can just tell us, be honest, man.
No, I have to write a newsletter and do some research.
No, it's okay. On the toilet, we all know it's okay. I do it too. I'm getting tired. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Yeah, see, we're definitely cutting it after this. But special announcement at the end. Okay. Litecoin. I'm excited for Litecoin to be pumping. I'm most excited for the fact that it actually wicked above this previous high right here. I'm on the weekly time frame, and there's also a lot of wicks at this level here at around $111. But it wicked right up to that. I'm zooming out on purpose because if for some reason Litecoin can close above $111, it's going to actually take this out at 131, and it'll rip. It'll rip, because Litecoin, I don't care who you are, Charlie Lee, the guy behind Litecoin. I know, Dan, you think Litecoin is the silver of crypto. I think it's the shiny object in crypto when things are bullish, and when the conditions are right, oh man, this thing will absolutely rip. It'll go crazy prices. Litecoin does not deserve to be above $400. Litecoin does not deserve to be above $200. It just doesn't do enough, in my opinion, from a protocol aspect. And I know I just offended a lot of you. Don't be offended. Look at the chart. If it was really that amazing, it should be so much higher. If it was really that amazing, it should be so much higher than where it used to be. Like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, XRP is now going up to crazy, crazy places, right? Just keep that in mind with all these legacy Dino coins. Yes, they will pump, they will have their turn, but just remember, at the end of the day, what does it do? What problem does it solve? Does it actually have a legit product? Does it do something? Be really careful about marrying anything that's pumping. You're going to love it because it's giving you lots of money. But remember, at the end of the day, every market has a reversal. The bear market has a reversal. The bull market will have a reversal. Just be careful, okay? That's all I want to say, all right? But I am also excited for Litecoin because I have a trade on Litecoin that I'm also waiting for it to go much higher. So with that said, the guy who's mocking Litecoin is also trading it. Yeah. Oh man. All right. So the special announcement, the exuberant announcement that I want to share with you right now is so amazing, because it is something astronomically in your benefit to know and to hear. In the description of this video are amazing links from Coin Bureau to Femex. There's a new partnership that we have, and there's new content coming out about Femex. Watch out for that soon. CoinCatch and 2Bit are both non-KYC requiring exchanges, but 2Bit has a ridiculous deal where you can sign up and trade to earn over 15,000 USDT. I know, it's like, did they put the comma where the period should be over here or something, like $150? No, that's 15,000 USDT. Plus there's a lot of other stuff on the Coin Bureau website. Check out all the deals. Everything that's there is in the description of this video below. Dan, tell us, what is Bitcoin going to be by next week? Tell us now.
Well, I actually, you know what? Yeah, let me interplay with the cosmic forces here. I think that my personal target now for Bitcoin in the next basically 4 days, roughly 3 to 4 days, maybe more like 2 to 3 days. By July 20th or 21st, I think Bitcoin will be somewhere around 124-ish maybe, because we did get a rally up to that level, but it was kind of like super short squeeze driven. I think we need to see a retest of that level, like just of actual organic buying. And then from there, after that, I don't know. Like my gut says there's probably a correction, but again, as we were discussing earlier, it's like maybe that kind of like pullback doesn't happen until, you know, like later. Like Bitcoin could just chop sideways the same way it's been doing now. It could move up 5,000 and then just do the same thing again, right? Because it did that. It was doing that at like 110, right? It was 110 flopping. Boom, 120. And now, I mean, now it's like fluttering between like whatever it is. So
yep.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. My guess is Bitcoin is going to be at $119,000 in a week from now. It's just going to stay sideways because all the money is moving into alts. We're going to see alts go crazy. Ethereum by next week could actually be at 4,000, in my opinion. The way it's moving right now, it wouldn't surprise me. But that means that Bitcoin is probably going to be pausing, because when markets are super bullish and Bitcoin pumps a ton and then it kind of pauses, watch alts literally fly off the shelves. It happens every single time. Watch and see. Yes, Bitcoin could still shoot up to 124. And when Bitcoin is done staying where it is and it starts pushing up higher, then the alts go, oops, sorry. Okay, yep, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. We'll go back down. Oops, sorry. It's like when you see the alpha male dog coming through the dog pound, all the dogs that were all like tough before, they go, oh. Bitcoin leads the pack. You can't mess with the honey badger.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys are so fantastic for joining us today. Again, check out the links below. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.
Peace.